Hey, I'm Sam, and it's been 3 months since I uploaded my very first video. It took me 4 years to realize that if I really want to do this, I just have to try, and here I am. I finished my first 2 playthroughs, recorded over 60 hours of usable material, and I had a blast with every minute of it. I am learning so much here, it changed a lot for me, and I felt like sharing. I tend to lighten stuff up with jokes, so I thought about doing some crazy edits here and there, but it doesn't really fit the tone here, so I will keep it simple. Oh, and this is not a guide of any kind. I still have a long way to go. This is just me sharing my thoughts, feelings, and how I did things these past few months of doing something I had no experience at all. And maybe you can relate to it, or even learn something. I always enjoyed my alone time, just playing some games, watching some anime, or whatever. And that led me to avoid people in a way, which didn't help my social skills. I had this image of a shy, weird, sarcastic little kid that I sustained until I grew up. Don't get me wrong, I still had a lot of fun. I was drinking and doing stupid stuff like everybody else. So things kind of worked out and I was completely fine with my level of shyness. That is, until I started thinking about what I actually want to do in life. And the only thing I could come up with was, I love games with a passion. It's a shame I can't have a job like that. And it didn't matter that I had YouTube set up as my homepage. I just never even considered it as a real option for me. So with no plan in sight, I went to university like most people around me. I knew I just had to do something related to games. So I thought, why not try making them? That's a cool job. But once I learned a little bit more about programming, I wasn't that excited anymore. I was studying something I didn't really care about in hopes of getting a job I didn't really want. And then I had a revolutionary idea. I could just go on the internet and create gaming content, do playthroughs, reviews, streams, engage with fellow gamers. The possibilities are endless. And that is where my 4 years of excuses began. There was always some reason why I can't do this. And my main problem was, well, me. I never really expressed myself. People were always posting something on social media. Meanwhile, I barely had an account. I couldn't even take a picture of myself. Everything about it just felt so weird. I figured that is how people perceived me, as this shy and quiet person. And if I did something so out of character, like suddenly being a YouTuber, they would think I went crazy and laugh at me, and losing my image just terrified me. It took me quite a while and a lot of thinking to realize that I don't have to be this person that I created due to my own unresolved issues. So I got a job that made enough, I had a place to live and a girl to love, so I was happy. But was I? Not really. I had the gaming idea in my mind a lot, even though I tried to push it away since I was too scared to do it. Eventually, I even told a few of my friends that I might one day start recording videos. And to my surprise, they were very nice about it. After a while, I started doing research and gathering all the stuff that I needed. First a microphone, then a camera, and then I heard about this huge lighting issue that I need to think about. So I had everything set up. But for 6 more months, I still played games by myself. I was talking about them all the time, sure, but I didn't record them. During that time, all the games I played felt like a missed opportunity and I didn't have as much fun. When I started Last of Us Part 1, I got really sad about it. The game was amazing and I really wanted to share my experience with it, and I could, but I didn't. So by the end of the game, I actually started recording. At first it was really weird, talking to nobody, since I knew these were just like a training for the real thing. I was so self-conscious, I was sweating while recording, and even more while watching them back. I had maybe 3 hours of footage by the time I finished the game, but it helped quite a lot, and it made me a bit braver. At the time, I was thinking of trying out Diablo 4, and when I started my solo journey through it, I turned it off after 30 minutes and I finally felt ready. I turned my camera on and just did it. Let me give you some current numbers. I uploaded my first video 95 days ago. At the time of this recording, my channel has 77 uploads with a total of 15,000 views, a little over 200 hours of watch time, and 42 subscribers. To be honest with you, I have no idea if these results are objectively good or bad. But let me tell you, never in my life have I felt so rewarded. I love doing this, and I want to give it my all. So to everybody watching this, thank you so much. It really means the world to me. When I recorded my first Diablo 4 video, I had the required hardware and software installed, but I had quite limited knowledge on how to do any of this. I knew from the start I was going to do this in English, and I know the language pretty well, but I was always just absorbing it, not really talking. And talking on camera was even worse. That thing is always watching, and that's stressful. I couldn't look into it, and words were escaping me, and that needs a lot of practice. My mic was connected, sure, but I didn't know how to set up the audio correctly, how to work with filters or separate the sources. As for my lighting, it's just a simple lamp with an adjustable light bulb. My YouTube channel was already up, and since I needed the logo, I played around with GIMP a little bit to create the first version of it. All I did was record those few hours of Last of Us that I mentioned. I knew nothing about editing videos. So let's say I had a high growth potential. There was one more problem I had before uploading the video. It didn't feel right to just do this out of nowhere. I wanted to explain myself, and I wanted my first video to be an introduction of sorts. I struggled in life because I wasn't honest with myself. I was scared and ashamed, and I wanted to change. I wanted to approach this being as positive and open as I could. So I wrote down some thoughts that I wanted to go through, and even though I was terribly nervous, I recorded another video of me just talking to the camera. I decided not to edit it. I didn't really know how, and I was afraid I would second guess myself again and give up. I just wanted to rip the band-aid off. After I learned how to create some thumbnails, I uploaded my first 2 videos. It was a strange feeling, but I was definitely excited. I thought about this for so long, and suddenly it was done. Next day, I recorded another gameplay video and left to visit my family for the holidays. The only person I told about my new hobby was my girlfriend, so my family knew nothing about it. Even after all my doubts, once I started, I was pretty confident that if I keep at it, my audience will grow and I will improve. But I was still skeptical about talking about it in front of my family or friends. All I was thinking about was YouTube. I was planning and scheming what to do next with my gameplays. I was so excited to get back home and record some more. And naturally, I needed to talk about it, so I told my family and few of my selected friends who I thought would most understand. And suddenly, I had 6 subscribers. And I felt nothing but support from them. I wanted to keep my uploading schedule consistent, so I decided to upload 3 videos a week. I had enough time after my working hours to record, study, and try new stuff. I updated my logo, intro to my videos, created banner for my channel, and tried to fix my audio, and I enjoyed the whole process. But slowly, I was starting to get frustrated. When I went into this, I knew it would not be easy, and that success comes with persistence and time. I was doing this for barely a month, so having 0 to 10 views a day was more than enough, considering my type of content. What bothered me was that I was still scared of telling people about it. What was I ashamed of? Doing what I love? If people would judge me for that, why should it change anything for me? I went into this hoping I might make a living here one day. But how could I with my half-assed attitude? I realized these doubts were holding me back. I changed my schedule, gathered up my courage, and told most of my friends. And sure, some of them were surprised, but nobody laughed. Nobody judged me. Which means this whole time I was afraid of something that wasn't true and did not matter in the first place. That day, I got 100 views and 14 more subscribers. These people came just to support me and were not really interested in my content, so I am not sure if it really helped my channel, but they checked it out, and that meant a lot. My new plan consisted of 5 changes. I should be able to record 1 video per day. That would work better with adding another game and alternating between them. Set up profiles on other platforms I want to use in the future. Stop being an idiot and actually watch my own videos. Write out what parts could be usable and learn to work with shorts. This was pretty simple. Recording more meant more practice and more game time, so I was happy with that. Since then, I haven't missed a single day. Alright, I missed like 3. But still, pretty good. At first, I wanted to add Hades, but it seemed too similar to Diablo. I wanted to do something shorter and different, so I went through my Steam library and picked Control. This one took quite a lot of effort. One of my main goals here is to create a community of sorts for anyone who would like to join, really, for people to talk, share, and be who they are, as I learned to be. It felt a little premature though, since my audience was mostly my friends, and there wasn't really much to offer yet, but I figured, why wait? So I started researching and learning. I created my own Discord server, Twitch channel, and even a Patreon page. I posted about it on YouTube and updated my video descriptions. If you check out any guides on how to get better, the main advice is mostly watch your videos and learn from them. I felt weird about that, so usually I just quickly check the audio and cut out some running around here and there. But once I started really watching them, I noticed quite a few issues. For example, I make these weird breathing sounds sometimes between the sentences. Also a lot of fun linguistic stuff, like hearing no difference between won't and want. I hope I said it right, I looked it up. And I noticed my video quality was pretty bad, but at least I could start working on those. When you are trying to improve and grow on YouTube, you hear a lot about shorts. Some say it will help your channel and some say it will not. It seemed to me like you really can't be sure how the algorithm works, so why not try it out? I found some usable material from my playthroughs, learned how to edit them, and one day I posted my first 3 shorts. My channel had 200 views at the time. The next day, it had 1,000 more. So I uploaded more shorts and gained another 1,000. Let me remind you that for YouTube monetization on shorts, you need 3 million views in the last 90 days. So 1,000 here and there is basically nothing. For me, it was a huge jump, so I was very excited. After making these 5 changes to my channel, I was pretty happy about how things were going. I gathered another 22 subscribers, and I didn't change many things from then. Every day there was something to work on or fix, so I was occupied. Don't worry, I am not going to go into details, since I barely understand the technical stuff myself. After I learned my first 14 videos were in 720p and 30 fps, I looked up how to configure my settings to get better quality and better rendering. It wasn't hard to change that to 1080p and 60 fps, only my PC disagreed. My editing software kept crashing, and after checking some things, I figured out that my RAM was struggling, since changing the quality also drastically changed the size of my video files, and my PC just couldn't keep up. I couldn't really move forward like that, so I upgraded my RAM, got some more storage, and later I even upgraded my CPU to make things run faster, and everything is running smoothly now. For recording my gameplay, I was using Streamlabs since I heard it's more beginner friendly, but gradually I felt like most of the guides I found were for OBS. I wanted to separate my camera from my gameplay, but I wasn't sure my PC could handle it. I learned that Streamlabs is using a little bit more juice due to some perks that I didn't really need, so I decided that OBS is the better option for me after all. I set everything up, tested it, and started recording the next part of my Diablo playthrough. Curious thing happened though, and after 5 minutes my OBS stopped with some kind of encoder error. I checked my recordings and the 5-minute video was there, only it was cut off after the encoder error showed up. So I didn't pay much attention and I just started recording again, which was a mistake, since the next hour of my playthrough was just unusable. Fortunately, I haven't lost anything crucial, so I just learned the lesson there. Later, I found out that OBS wasn't using my graphics card at its full potential, and running the application in administrator mode seems to have fixed it. When I first saw 1,000 views on my channel, I got hooked on the feeling, and I thought, well, shorts are the way to go. I posted 9 shorts during the first 4 days of doing them, and then I tried to post at least one every few days. And I heard everywhere, quality over quantity. Well, I broke that rule and it showed. When making my shorts, there were some that I thought were good and some that I thought were just weak. There is this likes/dislikes bar on all of your videos, and of course people have different tastes. But curiously, the shorts that had a higher rate of dislikes were mostly the ones I wasn't so sure about. So I told myself, there is no need to rush. Let's just take it slow and post the stuff I'm proud of. I will still post shorts from time to time, but only those I consider good. My views graph took a dive though recently. I think it's a good idea to find time to work on my brand. I named my channel Smoothly Warm. I like how it doesn't really mean anything, it's just inspired by a game that I played. So when I could, I worked on my channel logo, banner, video intros, and so on. I was amazed how much stuff a person can do with just watching some tutorials and trying stuff out. And I enjoyed the process a lot. At the start, I created a logo with just the initials of my channel. Then I wanted an intro, and I thought, I need a theme. Fire is pretty smooth and warm, that could work. So I found some flickering flames, added some fire sounds, and threw my channel name before that. Now that I had a theme, I added a bit of fire to my logo and my banner. I was pretty content with how things were looking, only my intro was bothering me. I used a lot of versions of that intro. I changed the transitions, fonts, colors, and after all that work, I came to a conclusion to delete the intros. I just thought, you can see what my channel name is, you can see I have fire in my logo. There is no need to make you sit through 6 seconds of flickering flames in every single video. So I adjusted it just a little bit more and made an outro out of it. I love doing Let's Plays, just losing myself in the game, sharing my experience and talking my ass off. I'm a fun guy, but I want to appreciate the game that I play, not just screw around. And I can be creative while doing that, but mostly I'm still being guided by the game in a way, so I'm mainly just doing improv. I was experimenting a lot with thumbnails and branding to do something more creative, but it just wasn't enough for me, and that's where my future plans come in. I want to try and do reviews of the games I play here on the channel, so right now that would be Diablo 4 or Alan Wake. These would be more of a scripted kind of content, maybe throw a joke here and there and see how it goes. This video is actually a prototype of that, since I haven't done stuff like this before. I think it should be fun, and I'm very curious what kind of challenges I will face while working on those. And that is it for my journey up to now. This talk was supposed to be much shorter, but there was just so much I wanted to talk about. I delayed this for quite a while since I was a bit intimidated, but I enjoyed recording this quite a lot. I learned a lot about myself these past few months. It's an amazing experience for me and it feels great sharing that. So I plan to do these kinds of updates every few months or when there is something to talk about. And if you're still here, please leave a like or a comment. I really could use some feedback. And if you are interested in what I am doing, consider subscribing. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching and take care.